Hi, Henry. My name is Bella. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. It's been a busy day, but we're getting
hmm
through it. I just want to start out with asking you kind of what brought you in today.
So, I am here at the request of my employer.
Okay.
I've been an accountant for about 10 years, and I've been working with them for the past five. And it's been a mostly good working relationship. Recently, they have brought to my attention that there have been some issues, and they say it relates to my performance. They want me to remain with the company. So they suggested that I attend these sessions. I will say I think that there certainly have been some issues on my end. However, I do not think they warrant these sessions. I personally think they're a waste of time
Okay.
that I could be using more wisely.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is kind of you're here for work to kind of stay with the
hmm
company just because of some issues you've been having there.
Yeah.
But you don't really see that there's an issue going on. Um,
hmm
can you tell me what they see as the issue and kind of what's stemming?
So there have been a lot of things. I have been late to work a
Okay.
lot recently. Um, I have fallen behind on many projects.
Okay.
Um, and while I will admit that this is not ideal, I think there are also some issues in my personal life
Hmm.
right now that I think are potentially um, relating to these errors on my end.
Okay. All right. So I want kind of want to backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
We'll get to the issues with work, but I just want
hmm
you to kind of tell me about your living situation. Are you married? Do you have kids? Just a little bit of background information.
Okay. So I I live alone.
Okay.
I live in a studio apartment. My wife had recently left.
Okay.
Um, she and I have been married for a couple of years, and we've been together for about six. And recently she left. She stated that I have a drinking problem and I have mood swings.
Okay.
Um, and I so she that's that has caused some issues in my life. Because I'm not yeah, it's because it's you're with someone for like 6 years and then one day they're gone. And it's not that I don't need her per se, but it's a weird change of pace that I'm not particularly um keen with.
Okay. So she says that she left because of your
hmm
drinking problem and
hmm
mood swings.
Yes.
I kind of want to talk about your drinking habits just because we're kind of seeing a common theme here between
hmm
with your wife and as well as your employers. So, tell me kind of about how often you're drinking, when you're drinking, where you're drinking, kind of those types of things.
So I've always um drank alcohol.
Okay.
Um, I guess you can't say always. For the past 14 years or so,
Okay.
probably. I usually have a couple drinks a day. Um, I after I go to work, I'll go to the bar to get some drinks.
Okay.
I will have drinks during lunchtime. Sometimes I have a breakfast drink, which are actually kind of underrated in my opinion. Not a lot of people, I think, fully. People say that you have to drink in the evening. I just don't see that personally. I
Yeah.
think that if something's super enjoyable, then why not have it multiple hours of the day? So that's been a more recent development. I've discovered that breakfast beer is actually really good. It's not something I had ever done when my wife was around, but she's not around, so I guess her opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. It's one way to think of it.
so I mean, this is clearly something that bothered her, and I don't really know why.
Yeah.
And she has said she had mentioned drinking, and then she had also mentioned the constant mood swings, but I honestly think everyone kind of has mood swings.
Okay.
Um, and in my opinion, drinking makes me more fun than I already am because I'm pretty fun in general. So there's been that. I sometimes drink during work to and I have a drink in the car. So sometimes that, and then recently something I discovered is that because we all have water tanks, so if you really think about it, you can actually, because no one checks your water, so actually if you just put alcohol in those, well, that's like a more efficient way to get alcohol in.
Interesting. Okay. So it sounds like you're
Hmm.
drinking after work. It sounds like you're
Hmm.
drinking during work.
Hmm.
What does your drinking look like on the weekends when you're not working?
I have gotten to the point where I've blacked out multiple times.
Hmm.
Um, I The truth is I really don't like being home. It's like like I said, I don't need my wife really. I'm fine actually. But it's also still lonely.
Right.
So I prefer not being home. So I will go to bars in the evenings and
Hmm.
close them, and then um I have blacked out on many weekends.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't think I have a problem.
You mentioned isolation. Do you think
Hmm.
since your separation and
Hmm.
possibly as a result from drinking, do you think you
Hmm.
experienced any loss in interest in activities, or do you think that it affects your work performance or any sort of hobbies in your life, this drinking?
So I don't think my drinking harms me in any way. I think it has changed some things, but that's fine. I would say I'm doing fewer activities than usual. And then it's we could say it has impacted my work because sometimes I'll be hungover, which is why I'm late for work, and that may also be why I'm falling behind on some projects.
Okay.
And I don't think work was really noticing because they never pay attention to anything. It's a serious problem, actually. Management, everything I say here like stays here, right?
Of course, yes. Confidential.
Okay, good. So yeah, management, it's actually a serious problem. I don't understand how a lot of people get promotions. And I think obviously I mean, they're not going to fire me because I'm amazing. But um, I, they had said that there was an outburst during a meeting. They call it an outburst. I just think I was behaving perfectly appropriately.
Mhm.
There's a serious problem where people just don't have a lot of respect at this company, and particularly respect towards me. And I
Right.
find it to be somewhat irritating because we had a project, and I wasn't quite finished yet. So we had been working on this for about 6 months, and Um, I had about I just needed a little bit more time, and I think I kind of earned that because I've been there for so long.
Mhm.
And then one of the other employees um, mentioned that in the meeting that we're behind. Now he didn't mention me by name, but I know he was talking about me.
Okay.
So I didn't really appreciate that. So I had to put him in his place
Hmm.
because that's what good leaders do.
Okay.
So that was and then after that was over, I suggested we all go out to drinks, which apparently was not appropriate at that time.
Mm.
So um, I was, I had a meeting with my boss and human resources, and they suggested I be here. So
Okay. May I
that's
ask,
why.
were you intoxicated during this event at work?
Define intoxicated.
Had you have been drinking that day?
Yes,
Okay.
we've established I drink every day.
Okay. And it also sounds like all of these kind of issues in your life is, do you feel like it's other people's fault and not yours?
It seems, I mean, it's not, well, it seems that way because, wife left, her fault. Um, Work, they want me here. That was their decision. Employees speaking out of turn, also their fault. So it seems that way, and some people have erroneously suggested that I might be the problem. Um, and I just really don't see that.
Have you ever tried to cut back or maybe stop drinking?
My wife suggested that many times, but I thought that was dumb, so I didn't.
And okay. Okay. I think we're gonna move on to kind of the mood swings that you have been
Hmm.
experiencing. I know you described periods of low energy and sadness
Hmm.
and kind of intense frustration and irritability and the intake
Hmm.
assessment. So I want you to kind of tell me more about that.
Well, I think part of the reason I am more irritable is because people have a tendency to be irritating for no discernible reason.
Hmm.
Um, it's so I I'm not super familiar with my family's mental health history. I don't really speak to them all that much anymore.
Okay.
I know my mom had had some anxiety when I was younger, and my dad was a social drinker, which is how had, I suppose that explains my comfortable relationship with alcohol. But I've been getting frustrated more recently,
Hmm.
and I think part of that is that people are becoming more incompetent, as something I've noticed.
Okay.
Um,
So you kind of think it's more people around you making you irritable,
mhm,
have those kind of um emotions because of that. Um, when you're feeling kind of frustrated and irritable, do you ever have kind of burst of energy or feeling like on top of the world without kind of a specific
yeah,
reason?
I mean, I think part of that just is I usually feel, I sometimes will feel pretty good. I think just because I can be a pretty high energy person.
Hmm.
I will have like moments of euphoria that I don't really recall.
Yeah,
So I'll go like a couple of weeks where everything's great, and then a couple of weeks where everything's absolutely dreadful.
yeah. Kind
Um,
of it's alternating
and
back and forth.
yeah, um, I figure maybe alcohol could be help with it, but we can't, I guess the only way we can figure out is if I try it.
Right. Okay. Okay. Do you ever have issues falling asleep?
Sometimes I've
Building
had
up?
a lot of issues falling asleep lately.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what's causing those. Um, so, but yeah, I've had some issues falling asleep, and I think so. Sometimes alcohol does make me more tired, which helps, but also I think part of the problem with like my sleep schedule is that because I'm having a difficult time falling asleep, is like I'm sometimes late for work.
Hmm.
But I've just been feeling kind of withdrawn
Yeah.
lately. Um,
Okay. Do you ever have any kind of thoughts of self-harm or anything of that nature?
no,
Okay.
um, I wouldn't. I've been feeling really overwhelmed lately. Um, and I think part of that is just because of all the pressure that's on me to perform well, when
Right.
clearly it's not on anyone else for some reason.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it's just been, um, yeah, it's been a lot lately, and I don't know what to do.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you for sharing everything and kind of opening up to me, even though I know you don't necessarily want to be here right now, but
Mhm,
um, I just wanted to kind of ask these questions to kind of get to know
mhm,
you. And we will kind of start tackling these issues and setting some goals
mhm,
in our next session. Does that sound good with you?
mhm. Sounds great.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.